Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm still dancing from that great video. Thank you, Joe, for sharing that with us. Hopefully, you guys have been seeing that on your television screens in the evenings. I know I have, and I dance with it every single time. So, good morning. Thank you guys for joining us. Good morning, Gig Harbor, Washington. Wow, Texas, Braunfels. Did I say that right? Hi, Gina. Hello from Victoria, British Columbia. Hello, Mount Doug. Who else has joined us today? Joining from Texas? Good. I'm so glad to see all of you from Texas. We've got to talk Galveston. Hello. Ooh, Ontario. Hi, Shirley. Thank you for joining us. I love that flamingo picture. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hi, Katrina. Good afternoon from Texas. All right. I'm super excited about all of our Texas joiners. We're going to really have a chat here. Los Cabos. Ooh. Hello. Hi from Mexico. We love Los Cabos. Revelstoke, British Columbia. Thank you for joining us. Good morning from Alaska. How cool. I'm sure it's a beautiful day in Alaska. We're excited to be there and have our ships in Alaska this season. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hello. Hi, Mary. You know, one of these days I'm going to ask, like, where are you from, right? Where are you from? Got this beautiful Golden Gate Bridge behind me, and I live in Southern California, but I am from Northern California. Grew up in a little town called Benicia. San Fernando Valley, you're right up the street. Avoid the 405, Lori. Don't get on it. Hi, David. All right. I think we've got good numbers here. Mexico City. Oh, hey, Edith. How are you? I actually know Edith. Bonjour from Quebec City. Hello. All right. Look at, oh, we got a quick glimpse of Joe there. If you were quick, you could have seen Joe, who's the magic behind the curtain. But just in case you guys are not familiar with me just yet, I'm Marcia Patrick, Director of Sales for the Western United States and Western Canada. And we're so excited to have you guys join us today. Some of these little pictures you guys have seen before, but that is my picture of my family at Princess Keys. Oh, look at Carmen. Carmen. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Carmen. My boss is on, guys. Be kind. Okay, so we're going to get going. You guys know who I am. A little bit of housekeeping. So if you'd like to have the transcript, you can always turn the captions on. If you're watching us from Facebook, there is a captions opportunity. Just turn the captions to on and you will get transcripts. Also, you want to stick around because one of the most popular things about our webinars is the Q&A. And the fact that you guys are so vocal and put in lots of good questions in pre-registration. And so we like to take the time to answer those. And then not that you're here for this, because I'm pretty sure it's just all about me and like, you know, everything I have to share. But just in case, you know, you care about cruising, we have a surprise giveaway of a 7-day cruise, either to Mexico or the Caribbean for 2022. So that will happen towards the end of this session as well. And let's just get started. So first of all, health and safety, we're all very familiar with this by now, right? So we're still doing the testing 2 days prior to embarkation. Masks were removed from a requirement on board, and then they were put back in place for Alaska. So really mask requirements are a bit on the fluid side. Depending on what's going on, you know, we've got a little bit of a spike in the variants right now. So we're asking masks or having masks worn on board our ships in Alaska, but it ebbs and flows and it changes. So whatever is the safest thing to do is the guidance that will be given at that time. We were super, super excited when the CDC updated its guidance for cruises as of July 18th. I mean, we were throwing a little party here, right? So they ended the 2019 program for cruise ships operating in U.S. waters. we could not be more happy, right? We're super excited. But as you know, it takes a little bit of time to make adjustments. And we absolutely want to continue to do what's the best thing for everyone's health and safety. So we're still reviewing the guidelines, and there are no immediate changes to our operations. So everything is status quo until we're able to make the review and understand what we're going to do moving forward. But when we do make that announcement, you all will be the very first to know. And then if you want to make sure that you keep up with everything, make sure that you are visiting theprincess.com/cruise health FAQ, because that has all of the latest information. Okay, and we also want to be very clear about the fact that Princess welcomes all guests now, right? So it's just a matter of the percentage of unvaccinated guests we can have by voyage, but all guests are welcome. So you don't need a reason. If you're unvaccinated, you don't need to be medically cleared. You don't have to have a religious reason. You could just want to sail with us, and you are unvaccinated for whatever personal reason that might be. You can sail with us. And you can easily sign your guests up if they are unvaccinated and are ready to sail, just by either calling into the contact center. You can talk to the reservations agents on the front line. You do not need to be transferred. This is a change. We were running that up through another department, and that became a bit of a bottleneck. So you do not need to do that any longer. You can call and talk to the person who's making the booking with you, for you, and they can notate it for you, and they can give you the green light on if this booking is within our percentage. You can also make the booking yourself and then chat. Put in chat the booking number and just say, this person is unvaccinated, and can I get the approval for them to sail? And they'll go ahead and make the appropriate notations on the booking for you and tell you you're good to go. So lots of different ways to be able to do that. Also, we do care about whether it's all people in the cabin that are unvaccinated or if it's just one or two. So make sure you clarify that, because then that helps us better control that 10% piece that we have to monitor. So let's get to what we came here to learn about, which is our 2023-2024 America's Program Preview. Like, we're so excited. This is hot off the presses, just announced today, and we couldn't have any better persons share information with you than Neil Rippin, who's our Vice President of Product Management for Princess. He knows it all. He doesn't know just Americas, he knows quite a bit more. And then we've also got the lovely Molly Marchinsky joining us, who is the Director of Product Management for Princess, and she specifically oversees the Americas.
Yeah, hi.
Welcome, guys.
Hi. So happy to be here. Hello, everyone.
So glad you guys could join us. You guys are the real experts and the pros at all of this information, and all of our knowledge that we get on the sales side comes directly from you. So we're glad you guys could join us.
Yeah, so happy to be here. And welcome, Molly. Molly's relatively new in the team, so this is a great opportunity for her to meet you all.
Excited to be here.
I'm going to hand the reins over, and we're going to let a pro take us through what this program looks like for the Americas.
Okay, cool. So first up, just a quick thing, like when we talk about Americas, of course, we would normally include Canada, New England. So we put it on this graphic just to show that, we know our geography and that Canada and New England's there. But of course, our fall Canada season is already on sale. And the real focus, as Marcia was saying today, is the program release we just put out, which focuses on the fall 23, spring 24 season to Caribbean Canal, Mexico, Hawaii, and Cal Coast. So that's what we're going to spend our time talking about today. And we're going to kick it off with the Caribbean, that most quintessential of cruise destinations, right? And it's really easy to see why, with the island hopping between several of the 25 Caribbean islands that we visit on 7 Medallion class ships. We cover 18 itineraries, as this shows. And also with Princess, you get even more time ashore, because we have late night departures in 6 what we call more ashore ports. That includes Aruba, Curacao, San Juan, and more. But rather than me talk, let's take a look at the Princess Cruises Caribbean experience. Thanks, Joe.
Neil,
So,
I don't know about you, but when I hear steel drums, I'm ready to go.
Oh, I know. Have you ever
Ready to
done it?
go.
Have you ever done the steel
I
drum?
did. My actual last family cruise was on the Caribbean Princess, Eastern Caribbean, with my family in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm really cool. I'm really interested to do that. I think the kids would absolutely love it. Anyway, so this is a map, and you all know a map of the Caribbean. And so what we've done is color-coded that to show the different regions of the Caribbean that we visit. So in red is our Eastern Caribbean itineraries and the ports that are on those. In green is the Southern, and in purple on the left-hand side, of course, is the Western Caribbean. So we kind of have the whole region covered in the sailings that we offer. And we just wanted to give, before we get into some of the details on those itineraries, we just wanted to, for each of these destinations, highlight some of the key reasons and top selling opportunities that we know Princess guests in particular are looking for. So we start, of course, with the top rated beaches, the number one reason people want to go there, and that beautiful crystal clear water. And the great thing about cruising, as you all know, is you don't need to settle for just one top rated beach because you can have several. One of my favorites, Trunk Bay in St. John, which is a Condé Nast travel cruise wonder of the world. So beach is big reason. Also, the water sports and activities that the whole family can enjoy. You know, Caribbean's not short of snorkeling, scuba diving, catamaran sailing, kayaking, all of those things that like the Caribbean guests want to experience, and you can participate in those on one of our vacations. But there's way more than just fun in the sand. The typical Princess cruise is also loving their history and culture, and so these are also important. And the relaxed vibe of the islands with their unique mix of Dutch, French, African traditions, that's all reflected in the food and the music. And, you know, Marsha, we were just talking about some of that music. And then for some of the history and culture as well, Princess is offering access to no fewer than 9 UNESCO World Heritage Sites on this program that we're announcing, including the Mayan ruins as pictured here.
There's so much to do in the Caribbean.
Right. And then to maximize everything that you do and to make sure our guests really experience the region, we've developed an onboard program called Rhythm of the Caribbean. This brings some of the regional flavors I just talked about, some of those traditions. So like local cuisine, Caribbean themed entertainment. We bring all of that on board the ship.
Yeah. Sail Away is special. I remember Sail Away specifically because we had Caribbean dancers on board helping us with the Sail Away, and it was electric. Everyone was dancing.
Yeah, it's infectious. It's really cool.
Again, that steel drum gets you going.
Yeah. And then other really cool activities we have, you know, like, and again, this is a great place for families to come together. So we have things like treasure hunters, and Shark Week's a big deal, particularly in the summer, I will say, for the Shark Week, but I couldn't help but have a little plug for that program here. And then, of course, everybody's favorite, Parrots in the Piazza, right? That's a real crowd pleaser. So that's just a little bit of the flavor of some of these Caribbean itineraries. Now I'm going to hand it off to Molly, who's going to give you a little bit more detail on the itineraries.
Sure. Okay, so we wanted to start with this slide so that we could reaffirm our commitment to Galveston as a home port, and build on the success of the Spring 2023 program that we launched just a few months ago on Ruby Princess. Of course, Fort Lauderdale continues to be our Florida home port and our main year-round gateway to all that the Caribbean has to offer. So let's take a look at our various Caribbean itineraries. Our Royal Class ship Regal Princess is departing Galveston and sailing a 7-day Western Caribbean with Mexico, and visits Costa Maya, Roatan, and Cozumel. We also do a 7-day Western Caribbean from Mexico from Fort Lauderdale on Caribbean and Sky Princess. So the same ports as the Galveston itinerary, but from the sunny shores of Florida. If Jamaica and the Cayman Islands are top of your list, Caribbean Princess is also sailing a 7-day Western Caribbean with the Bahamas and visits our private island resort at Princess Keys. And then Princess Keys is also featured in this 7-day Eastern Caribbean itinerary from Fort Lauderdale on Caribbean and Sky Princess, in addition to San Juan, Grand Turk, and Amber Cove in the Dominican Republic. Or there's this newly curated 7-day to San Juan and the stunningly beautiful island of St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, plus a day in Princess Keys. And for those with a little bit more time, our 10-day Eastern Caribbean offers more time in St. Thomas with a late-night Moorish shore call, plus visits to islands deeper into the Caribbean like Antigua and St. Kitts. And not listed here is another 10-day that visits St. Thomas, Dominica, St. Lucia, Martinique, Antigua from Fort Lauderdale. And that 10-day can be combined with this one for a 20-day vacation, which is very popular with our most loyal seasoned cruisers.
Sign me up, Molly.
Okay, so now for a bit more about Princess Keys. You can visit the dazzling port of Princess Keys, which is Princess's private island resort, relax in a beachside sanctuary bungalow, ride on a banana boat, paddle through the turquoise waters on a kayak with friends and family. And if that's not enough, experience this quintessential Bahamas port on most of our Caribbean cruise itineraries and indulge in the best of both worlds as you sail on to explore other nearby destinations. So let's look at a map of the many amenities. As you can see, there's no shortage of beaches, as well as bars for refreshments, 2 food pavilions, play area for the kids. There are also beach bungalows, private cabanas that can be rented for the day, including the sanctuary bungalows. And each bungalow features an air-conditioned room and outdoor patio furniture to soak in the sun. And for those who want to see what the Caribbean really has to offer, this 14-day Southern Caribbean cruise is perfect, featuring the highly sought-after island of Martinique and Aruba, among others.
Yeah, thanks, Molly. I just want to quickly go back actually to this one because I want to point out to everyone, if you've ever been to Princess Keys, first of all, it's completely awesome. But since I last went, we've added the our medallion that, of course, works on the ships. So all of our ships are now medallion enabled. We've got that medallion now working on the shore in Princess Keys. So it totally works with like getting the beverage packages, getting the drinks delivered to you. The Wi-Fi works out there, so you get all of that. You get all of that experience of the medallion on shore as well. So I think that's a fairly recent-ish development, and I just want to make sure we highlight that here
Yeah,
too.
I'm ready too, Christine.
All right, so now moving on to our Panama Canal departures. The Panama Canal is the world's greatest shortcut. There is no other place on Earth where you can begin in one sea and in hours travel to a completely different ocean, bypassing the continent of South America. It has been named one of the 7 cruise wonders of the world. And we do want to note that there is live narration from the bridge when our ships transit through the lock system, which provides insight into the fascinating history and the engineering feats of the canal.
So I think we have a video for the canal as well, right, Joe?
Hey, and I just wanted to point out too that all these lovely videos we're sharing are also available on OneSource for you to use in social media or any of your email blasts that you're sending. So just know that you have these accessible to you as well.
Right. And okay, so before Molly dives into the itineraries here, so here are some of the key selling points around the canal. So as Molly mentioned a minute ago, of course, it's one of the 7, well, it's one of the wonders of the world, but certainly one of the Condé Nast 7 cruise wonders of the world. And really that makes it like a true bucket list destination. And also I like to point out to people, it's one of those things that can really only be truly appreciated from the water, right? So cruising is such an ideal way to see it. And that makes it ideal for cruise enthusiasts and bucket list chasers alike. Now, while the canal itself is undoubtedly the main draw, there's so much more to experience on one of the Panama Canal cruises with Princess. First and foremost, we've got the lush rainforest in Costa Rica and all the unique and exotic wildlife in there. So including these lovely sloths, it's such a great way to see these creatures in their natural habitat. And with our unique shore excursions in partnership with Animal Planet, guests can really get to interact with these animals in person. Then there's the culture and history, right? So there's access to over 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites on these cruises. And then the variety of cultures that you meet on a single cruise with that unique combination of Central American ports, South American ports, Mexico, and also the Caribbean. Like, it's just a unique kind of blend of cultures.
Hey, Neil, we have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Mary Harlow would like to know, is it better to cruise east to west or west to east for Panama Canal? Is there any difference?
There's not really any difference. I mean, here's where the differences are. Of course, there's a difference between the partial canal and the full canal. So in our partial canal, you're only going into the Agua Clara locks. I say only, I mean, they're still amazing. Mm-hmm. It's the Agua Clara locks are the ones on the Atlantic side.
Right.
And so you go into those, into Gatun Lake, and then either later that day or overnight, I can't remember, you come back out again. If you're doing the full transit, so if you're going between the West Coast and Florida, you're going to go through both sets of locks anyway. So I don't know that it necessarily makes a big difference. The one difference I would want to point out to people is on Island Princess, because Island Princess was specifically built for the original canal,
mm-hmm.
she still transits through the old locks when she goes through.
Okay.
But for the other bigger ships that weren't designed for it, but that now can go through because they've expanded the locks with a new set, so they, because they're big enough to go through that, they always do. And so that would be the big difference, I would say. But whether you go east or west, I don't think makes that much of a difference. It's still
great
from either way.
Thanks for the question, Mary.
Yeah, and then Molly mentioned this as well, but I'm going to just reiterate it because I'm not sure how widely known this is. But for every transit of the canal, we have expert narration from people who know what they're talking about, engineers who know how this thing works, how it was built, and all that history. They provide live narration as we go through the canals from the bridge, and so everyone gets to kind of follow along with what's happening. I think that's a really cool feature.
Okay. Any insider tips? Michelle is asking, is there a best place to be on the ship when going through the locks? Looks like this picture is a good one, actually, what we're showing.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a tradition in the canal of people hang flags from their balconies. And so it might depend, which side of the ship you're on. If you can sit on your balcony, and if you're going through the new locks, this is where you'd have to think about which direction you're going, because you can sit on your balcony. If you're going through the new locks, you can overlook the old ones. But generally, up on deck with all of the other people, get that atmosphere going, and then you have a 360-degree view from the upper decks. I think that'd be where I'd head if it was me.
Yeah, me too. That sounds like excellent advice.
Right. Cool. So Molly, tell us a bit more about these itineraries.
Sure. So we have a 10-day Panama Canal with Costa Rica and the Caribbean, and that's ideal for the guest who wants to experience the Panama Canal transit, the unique culture in South and Central America, and also visit Caribbean islands and rainforests. Our 10-day is a partial transit, and that means it goes through one set of locks and into Gatun Lake. And then we have our 15-day ocean to ocean, which is the best option for a full Panama Canal lock experience. It's full transit of all 3 sets of locks. Very cool itinerary.
I gotta say, I've never been into the canal. I just think it'd be an amazing kind of once in a lifetime thing to do. I look forward to doing that one day.
Me too.
I'm sure it's a bucket list for a lot of people.
Yeah. Me
included. I haven't been yet.
Yeah. Anyway, so next up is Mexico. This is one of my personal favorites. This is probably the cruise destination I've taken my family to the most. And for Mexico, we have in this new season that we've got going on today, We've got 3 Medallion class ships offering 5 different itineraries out of LA and San Francisco. Joe, show us the sizzle. So much fun. I love it.
Mhm.
So here's some of the key selling points we have going for Mexico. Of course, the Mexican and Spanish cuisine is a huge part of the culture. In fact, UNESCO recognized that cuisine for its preservation of the cultural culinary technique and cultural heritage. And when you pair that with the margarita tastings and the mariachi music, there's always something of like a fiesta feel on a cruise to Mexico. Now, also, the routes we take, at least on the West Coast, are on the migration route for the whales to and from Alaska. So there's also lots of opportunity for whale watching for people who like that kind of stuff. And then there's the more active, adventurous stuff. Mexico is an incredible destination for outdoor fun with opportunities like zip lining, horseback riding on the beach, off-roading in an ATV, snorkeling, jet skiing. You name it, like the fun never ends for that. But if you prefer to just shop for art or just generally shopping for crafts, there's tons of Mexican craft markets. And all the while, you're soaking in this stunning architecture and historical monuments. I mean, it's such an many of the cities and towns we visit are so old and, you've got all that extra stuff to see. It's just a really great blend of all of that. But Molly, give us some insights into oh no, sorry, actually, I'm so sorry. Quickly, the onboard experience in Mexico. So we already touched on some of that mariachi. We bring mariachi bands on board. We have folkloric performances on board. And then if margaritas are your thing, blended or on the rocks or with salt on the rim, then we have various tastings.
I highly recommend our 24 karat gold. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you take your margarita, by the way? On the rocks or blended?
On the rocks.
Yes, rocks all the way.
Good. We're all in agreement. And then we also celebrate not just on Dia de los Muertos, but we have that as a kind of generic celebration throughout our Mexico season to bring some of the local flavor on board again.
All right, so here's a peek at our Mexico itineraries. I'll start with our 7-day Mexican Riviera, where Princess started in 1965. On this one, Discovery Princess sails to Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and Cabo San Lucas.
That's also the itinerary that the original Love Boat sailed on.
So Linda wants to know, is Cabo a tender port?
Cabo is a tender port for us. Yes, it is. But we run tenders, like the port of Cabo provide some of those tenders. So it makes it a little bit quicker and more frequent. So it's pretty easy access to the shore.
Yes, we were just there in the fall and on Discovery, and there was no waiting at all.
Right.
And then on April 3rd, 2024, Discovery Princess is doing a special 10-day Mexican Riviera departure from Los Angeles with a total solar eclipse. And that will happen while the ship is in Mazatlan. And this itinerary also features an overnight in Cabo. Really cool one.
Total solar eclipses are so rare that going to, like, I once saw one and it was, it's a really good experience, like the way nature changes as the sun doesn't completely go away, but yeah, it's pretty special, and so this is a great opportunity for people living on the West Coast to go and see that.
There were a couple of questions, people specifically asking about if we had a solar eclipse cruise or for this time period. So here's your answer: we absolutely do. This is the exact voyage, and make sure you book your guests on it.
Right, and I think, yeah, Mazatlan is where the actual eclipse happens. The actual eclipse is a relatively thin strip of places, see it? So
Mhm.
Mazatlan, for planning purposes, is where you would actually experience the eclipse.
Got it.
And we also have Mexico departures from San Francisco on Crown Princess. So this is a 10-day cruise visiting Cabo San Lucas, Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, as well as Manzanillo. And then there's our 10-day Sea of Cortez itinerary on Diamond Princess out of LA. This one visits Laredo, La Paz, and Puerto Vallarta with an overnight in Cabo San Lucas. And finally, our getaways for a quick trip. 5-day from Los Angeles on Discovery Princess, also with an overnight in Cabo San Lucas, so you can make a long weekend out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, and so, I said Mexico is one of my favorite cruise destinations, and, being based in LA, we've done so many. We haven't done one in a little while, so I haven't updated these photos for a bit. But yeah, these cruises very much Ripon family approved. As is the Cal Coast, right, which is our next destination for a deep dive of the Americas program. So Cal Coast is a real gem in the Princess product lineup. It now covers 11 destinations on over 13 different itineraries. Now, I love the stat on here about sailing under the Golden Gate Bridge, because just like I said, the canal is best seen from the water. Sailing into San Francisco Bay is one of those like quintessential cruise experiences.
It's
I think
true.
sailing under the bridge is a key part of that for anyone that's done it. Like, I didn't think I'd geek out quite so much in it, but actually sailing under the bridge and like being so like that close to the road deck was kind of cool. I would definitely put that in the bucket list for what it's worth.
Hey, Neil, before we get too far away from Mexico, Tanya wanted to know, will there be more itineraries with La Paz and Loreto?
I don't remember how many 10 days there are, but whereas we were able to have La Paz and Loreto on the 7-day out of San Diego, we just don't quite have enough time out of LA. And so that's why we extend it to that 10 night. I know it's super popular.
Yeah.
I just don't recall how many departures there are. I think there are more, but
okay. Well, definitely check
2 or 3. It's not like it's not quite as many as the 7-day.
And our program release does an excellent job of calling it out, so make sure you're checking the program release.
Right. Yeah. So Cal Coast, maybe before I go on to the key selling points, maybe Joe, do you have a sizzle for this one? Great, love this cruise. So here's some of our key selling points for California Coast, right? So number 1 here is the scenic coastline. Now, obviously, you're not going to see too much of it from the ships themselves, right? Because we have to sail some way out into the water. But they do give, these cruises up and down the Golden State do give incredible access to that rugged coastline, compete with the mountains and beaches and all those charming kind of coastal towns along the way. You can also see a bunch of California's top landmarks. We've already talked about the Golden Gate Bridge, for example, but there's also Alcatraz in San Francisco, and Balboa Park in San Diego is another one that comes top of mind. These waters are also home to a ton of marine wildlife, and as a cruise in this destination allows guests to see many in their natural environment. So that includes migrating whales, sea lions, sea otters in some of the places, seals, seabirds, dolphins. So if that's your thing, these are great for that. But then there's my personal favorite, right, which is wine country. We're sailing up and down the coast. We're giving our guests access to the Napa Valley and Sonoma Valley in Northern California, as well as the Santa Ynez Valley down here in Santa Barbara County. And that gives people access to some of honestly some of California's top producing
Yeah.
wineries.
And
Now,
not to mention our wine offerings on board the ship. Like our wine offerings are fantastic.
I was just going to mention that, Marcia, because we also have this wine selection that features a lot of Californian wines, actually. There's wine section created by this master sommelier and master of wines, Doug Frost. I think only about 4 people in the world hold both of those titles, if that impresses anybody. And so, that combined with the actual onshore excursions we offer to these wineries, I mean, these are just wine lover dream cruises, basically. So that's why I love it so much. Now, continuing the wine theme, we do offer wine tastings on board, as well as blending experiences, which is cool if you want to make your own blends. And that pairs nicely with some of the Californian cuisine that we offer. And then there's our Hollywood Insiders program. This is offered on all 7-night cruises, all of the round trip 7-night cruises, and it's part of our onboard enrichment series. So we're offering guests basically insights into the lives and careers of, sometimes it's actors, sometimes it's composers, sometimes it's musicians, but they're all linked to the entertainment industry, and they share those experiences with entertainment showcases and various workshops throughout the cruise. So it really gives people a chance to kind of get a look inside of Hollywood, essentially. And so, Molly, tell us a bit more about the itineraries here.
Yeah, sure. So we have our classic California coast, which is a 7-day sailing out of Los Angeles on Discovery Princess, and this one visits Monterey. And then we also have a 7-day California coast out of San Francisco on Crown Princess. And these itineraries do feature more time ashore in Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, so later departures and more time in the port.
Kathy Gonzalez asked, is there an overnight on California coastal itineraries? And I think you just answered that, because there's an overnight in San Francisco on some of these voyages, right?
There is, right, more time ashore, yeah. And then we also have our 6- and 7-day Pacific wine country between Los Angeles and Vancouver, where guests can visit Astoria and Victoria. And finally, our getaways. So these are 4 to 5 days visiting San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Ensenada.
Cool.
I think our, the team that creates itineraries does a really fantastic job in making sure that you get a lot of time in the port, right?
Yeah.
That you can experience, some of those ports have really good nightlife. And if you're not there long enough, sometimes you could miss that. And so I think our team does a really good job of making sure that you can experience the nightlife in these ports as well.
Right. And, Marcia, to that point, the other thing I think it's good to highlight to people, all these calls we do are right in the heart of the city, right? So you can really make the most of that time. Like, if you think about where the ships dock at the Embarcadero in San Francisco, and in San Diego for that matter, like they're right in town. So you get to kind of go around, walk around without having to worry about, oh my gosh, is my taxi going to get me back in time? Because you're right there. I love that feature.
Yeah, you literally walk off and get like the best clam chowder ever, right? In that sourdough bowl, and you'd literally walk there from the ship. So it is amazing. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, so our final destination for today, the 5th and final destination, is our upcoming Hawaii and South Pacific cruises. So, we're still the only major cruise line to offer a full season of cruises to Hawaii round trip from the mainland. I know that people do it, but not quite to the same number of cruises that we offer, which is now up to 18 departures on 6 Medallion class ships now. And we include a late night call, talking about spending time in port. We have a late night call to Honolulu on every sailing to Hawaii. So, Joe, let's take a look at our Hawaii. me in the mood. Get to Hawaii. I'm telling you, I love all that. Right. So here is what we hear from our guests. These key selling points I'm going through, by the way, are things that we hear from our guests, are things that they are motivated in going to these destinations, by the way, right? So anyone that's been to Hawaii knows there's an abundance of natural beauty. Of course, it's the only US state located in the tropics, and that kind of makes that beauty unlike anything else you'll see in the Americas program. Also, and this is very unique to the destination, but of course, Hawaii offers access to active volcanoes, right? So guests can learn about the birth of the island 70 million years ago, and they can experience two of the most active volcanoes in the world, right? So Kilauea and Mauna, I'll butcher the names, Mauna Loa, the Volcanoes National Park on the Big Island, right? So that's a real draw and offers a really unique thing to do while you're out there. And it's so much easier on a cruise because you don't need to figure out which of the islands to see, because we're going to take you to all four. Now, as with many of our West Coast products, wildlife is a very prominent feature here. So whale watching crops up again. And also, I've got to say, I mean, having been there, Hawaii is one of the best snorkeling destinations in North America. All the sea turtles, the colorful fish, and the coral, it's also easily accessible from the shore. That's what makes it such a good snorkeling destination in my mind. Another key selling point here is, of course, the Polynesian culture, that laid-back island attitude. And, you know, for many of our guests, that expands, that laid-back element, something people really love and cherish, is the sea days getting to and from the islands.
Yeah, I have to say, this is honestly my favorite itinerary, my most favorite cruise I've ever taken on Lisa Princess for that reason. I call it 3 vacations in one, right? Because, you know, it's hustle bustle trying to get your family ready to go on vacation. You get there, you've got 5 days to really relax before you get to the sights and sounds and kind of go at your own pace. Then you got 5 days into port, right? Getting to see different things. And then the most urgent thing you have to do is get to another beach. Like, this is right up my alley. And then you got 5 days to relax coming back. So I consider it like 3 vacations in one.
Yeah, no, yeah, great analogy. Yeah, this is high on the relaxation meter,
yeah,
for sure. Time to experience it all. Again, we bring some of that destination experience onto the ships. So we have our Aloha Spirit program. So this includes culturally authentic activities developed around Hawaiian culture. So things like lei making, ukulele and hula lessons, locally inspired tropical drinks, cuisine, all of that stuff, right? We bring it all on board. So to hear, Marsha, how your hulaing is.
I'm pretty good. I've been to a lesson or two. Let's just say that.
We'll leave it there. Better than mine, I'm sure.
And after a couple of 24-karat goals, you'll see.
Right. So we've got some new lengths of cruises in this deployment. So Molly, take it away.
Sure. So we have our 15-day Hawaiian Island departures from Los Angeles, as well as a 16-day departure from San Francisco, Seattle, and Vancouver. And these visit Hilo, Honolulu, Kauai, Maui, as well as Ensenada, Mexico. So like Neil said, this is really special. You get to see so many different Hawaiian islands in one trip. And then on Sapphire Princess, we have 2 32-day departures from Los Angeles, visiting the Hawaiian Islands as well as the South Pacific, including Tahiti, Pago Pago, Suva, and others. And these departures are in October of 2023 and April of 2024. This one's really amazing. I'm going to put in a request for a 32-day vacation, Neil. Just FYI.
Yes.
It's coming.
You and me both, Molly. You and me both. And lots of people ask us about Tahiti, so here it is.
Yeah, and so this, you know, in the past we've done a 28-day cruise to this area, but again, the point we're making before about the relaxation, don't rush it. We've extended that to 32 days, so now we can do an overnight in Tahiti, for example. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, there's a couple of these in there. These are great itineraries. One in the fall, one in the spring. So that pretty much wraps it up. The cruises open for sale and group allocations next week. Is it next week? August 9th,
Yep.
whenever August 9th is, my goodness. That's also when we open, as ever, we open a day early for our elite guests to book. That's August 9th as well. And then it's on sale to the general public on August 10th. So there you go. There's a little bit of a flavor of what's coming.
There's so much to choose from. Just make sure that you're telling your guests about it and your clients, and making sure that they're booking with Princess. There's no better way to see the West Coast. We have such a huge commitment on the West Coast. You guys all know. And we bring you brand new, beautiful ships. We have Discovery Princess sailing on the West Coast, and she is the newest ship in our fleet at this time. And you just don't get any better than that, along with your 24 karat gold. Does anyone tell that's my favorite?
You're probably drinking one right now. I know I should be. But hey, look, while we're still on, thank you for having us. We
Absolutely.
did want to make sure that we couldn't miss the opportunity just to remind everybody that we also have our summer 2023 program. So this is already on sale, but it hasn't been on sale for very long. And so this felt like a good opportunity just to remind everybody that next summer, Emerald Princess is going to be here. She's going to arrive in May. And so she's going to be doing a series of cruises, round trip from LA.
Uh-oh, did we lose Neil? I think he froze.
Might have. He froze for me too. I think so.
Okay. Well, I'll continue on that. We are so excited, being the director that covers the West Coast. Anytime we get another ship, and you guys have been clamoring.
Mexico. She's one of our other cruises. So we added an extra cruise to Canada, New England on this. And also we've got the canal cruises to get her to and fro. So lots of things on Emerald Princess along the lines of what you've just seen. But this is a fairly new deployment for us. And so we just wanted to remind you while it's on sale.
Yes, and I'm gonna put a shout out here. We've got so many questions about sailing out of the West Coast during the summer, and so here it is. Summer 2023 is the opportunity. You now have more than just the Alaska and Europe options. There's now Emerald Princess sailing out of LA. So exciting.
Yeah, and I have to say. The Hawaii cruises are particularly popular in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was popular, but Hawaii really was selling quickly. Tends to sell quickly in the summer. So just to give you that insight, it's been super popular. Okay.
So thank you, Neil, and thank you, Molly. Thank you so much for all your insights. We love having you. There's nobody better to walk us through a program release than this dynamic duo. So thank you so much. And you're going to stick around to help us answer some questions at the end. And we just have a couple more things to go over with you all before we get to the exciting answering of questions and the prize draw. So group pricing. So we have a bit of a change that's coming. So when we release the Americas for 2023/2024, the pricing is going to change, right? So what you have seen in the past with our group pricing is that we've always provided you with the Princess Plus price as the contracted rate for your group. We are changing that effective with the groups that are open for 2023/2024 product area, right, for the Americas. So that is now going to change to being open with the Princess Standard. And there are lots of benefit to doing it this way. Actually, the reason we're changing it is because it provides you with a whole lot more flexibility. I'll just review really quickly what happens now. So if you are currently opening a group with Princess, the current way, you're going to open the group and you're going to have the Princess Plus pricing with a discount of about $50 for the cabin, because the group price does get a discount. But then what if somebody in that group decided they didn't want Princess Plus and they wanted standard? It's easy to do because you could just book the standard rate and they could be attached into your group without a problem. The problem is that we've locked in the Princess Plus rate, and so the standard price is fluctuating, right? The standard price fluctuates based on whatever the price is that day or that week, right? So by changing our group pricing to locking in the Princess Standard for you, now you've locked in the Princess Standard rate, and then you can choose to advertise either Princess Plus or Princess Premier. So it's going to be a whole lot easier for you to be able to fluctuate and change. And so you take that standard rate and you just add $50 a day in order to get the plus price. Or you take that standard rate and you add $75 a day to get the premier price, right? So it's going to get a lot easier. We'll do something specific on this to make sure that everybody's on the same page with it. But remember, when you open that group with America's 2023-2024, that the pricing is going to be standard, and then you're going to layer in the other pieces that your guests want. We've also got something else new. So I thought I would dabble in trying to provide you guys with more group information. And I've selected the platform of Instagram because I felt like it's really a nice platform. So I have a new Instagram page called Princess Group Travel. And I'm going to ask that you guys follow me so that I can share with you all the great, wonderful group tips. There's going to be things on, how to work with our group program, how to, create a group, how do you get people to follow you. Just make sure that you're following me at Princess Group Travel. It's hosted by myself, and I would appreciate your follow so that I can share with you all the wonderful group information that we have about Princess Cruises. So, and then just a bit of a recap on the pricing. So you know that, not too long ago, we announced a new pricing module. So we've got no frills, that's the standard. We've got Princess Plus, that's the better value. And we've got Princess Premier. And just to give you an update, Princess Premier is selling really well. There's lots of people that see a lot of value in this. I think one of the most important or most popular pieces of this is photo package, but guests are also really liking the experience with Princess Prizes as well. So it's doing great. Just also as a reminder that as you sell Princess Plus and as you sell Premier, it's better for the guest. It's also better for you because it increases the opportunity for your commission to grow. And these are just some of the examples of the types of commissions you can see from those programs. All right, and easy to upgrade. So you're going to want to take a screenshot of this if you have your cell phone available. This is also on OneSource, but if you want to have it on your handy dandy phone, just take a quick picture, because these are the codes that you use. You put in this offer code in order to add packages to a guest who has booked maybe standard and decided they want to upgrade to Plus. Or they want to upgrade to Premier, right? And so it's really easy. You can do it yourself. You don't have to call in to get this done as long as you know these offer codes. Thank you, Charles C. And I actually have my cell phone here and it's blowing up. So thanks, guys, for following. I'm excited to engage with you about groups. All right, and Princess Academy. So we have the refreshers up. You guys are really on top of these refreshers, and you guys keep us honest. Natasha, who oversees our Academy team, is done a fabulous job. I worked very closely with her to create the Celebrations Group Refresher, and what she put out is beautiful. Make sure that you are doing your refresher. You have until August 17th to make sure that you keep your active Commodore status. Okay. Future cruise credits. So we get this question a lot. We do not currently have any plans to extend future cruise credits. One of the reasons we've made that decision is because there are lots of ways that guests can use their future cruise credits. During this pause period, or during the pause period before we return back to sail, our team internally went through a lot of efforts to make sure that FCCs could be used more easily and used in more ways. So FCCs can now be used for additional people in your cabin. They can be used for your air. They can be used for your cruise, your taxes, fees, port expenses, anything that ends up in the line item to be a total amount for the cruise itself your FCC can be used for it. So there's lots of ways to use it, and we really want guests to make use of it. This is just a reminder of how you can see FCCs for yourself. There's a wonderful video that Selena from my team created that walks you through how to do it. It's really easy. Make sure you're using your resources to be able to find your guest FCCs. I'm ready for the next slide, Joe. And here you go. Here's the QR code, actually. So you can use your handy dandy phone again and just hover over this QR code and it will take you right to the video that Selena did so that you can refresh yourselves on how to find those FCC lists with your guest in them. And then we don't want to forget about the Sell 3, Sail Free. Carmen announced this just about a week or so ago. Make 3 bookings and earn a free cruise. It's pretty phenomenal, right? So new bookings made as of July 12th all the way through August 31st on qualifying voyages. And if you use your handy dandy phone again for this QR code, it'll take you to all the collateral. It has the list of valid sailings, and it also has the document that you would use in order to submit to get your free cruise, right? All you pay for with this free cruise is the taxes, fees, and port expenses. And then you also have the option to upgrade to include the Princess Plus, but it's not required, right? So if you'd like to add Princess Plus, great. Sales tools, we have the offers details flyer, the qualifying voyage list, and then the lead-in fares, which is very helpful. And we're updating that as things change. So make sure you go to OneSource, use this QR code, and get all of the assets that you need to promote and sell. Sell 3 and sail free. And also to help you with that, we have fantastic deals for 2022, 40% off on our 22 sailings, up to 40% off for our 22 sailings. And then we also have up to 25% off on 2023. So all destinations through August 31st. And then we have kids sail free. And the insider tip on that is you don't have to be a kid. It's really including all thirds and fourths. But we call out kids sail free, but if it were an adult, they would sail free as well. It's really about thirds and fourths. That sale ends August 15th. And it's select 2023 voyages. Travel advisor rates. You guys are always asking about the rates. So we do have travel advisor rates for you. There's a special list of them. We have gone through. There are now some voyages that are available that are through spring of 2023. So again, QR code is key. And this list is also on OneSource, right? So the only caveat to these travel advisor rates is that we're not charging you for the cruise. You're paying taxes, fees, port expenses, and you're paying the upgrade to Princess Plus, right? So you can experience Plus and then come back and share it with your guests and your clients and tell them all about it and sell them on it. And the Love Boat. I know that there's got to be many of you guys that remember the Love Boat. I have fond memories of the Love Boat. I always wanted to be Julie. I wanted to be the cruise director. But the way I talk about 24 Karat Gold, you probably think I wanted to be Isaac. Nope, I didn't. Well, what's exciting is we have the Real Love Boat starting October 5th. I think they just wrapped up filming on the beautiful Regal Princess. And this show is starting on Wednesdays, October 5th. Make sure you guys tune in and that your guests are watching because it's going to be a full-fledged, beautiful ship preview every Wednesday night, right? An opportunity for your guests to see what ship life is like. And our hope is that that's also going to bring in a lot of interest from people who maybe have never cruised before, and they're going to drive them into your doors. So we're excited. Now we have our QA, and I think we're going to bring back our team, Neil and Molly.
Marsha, did you apply to be a contestant on the Real Love Boat?
I did not. Neil, I am happily married.
That's right. You didn't stop me.
Shame on you. You better hope your wife doesn't see this.
Yeah, sorry. She'd hate it.
Okay, so let's answer some of your questions. So just as a reminder, you guys submitted these questions in pre-registration, and I get to read them, and you guys are so engaged. I love these questions. And we pulled out the ones that were most commonly asked. The first one here is, are there any more round-trip 12-night Alaska cruises from Los Angeles coming in the future? Can you bring it back? This is a wildly popular question on the West Coast. We get it all the time. Neil and Molly, what say you?
Yeah, I know it's super popular, but we have so many ways for people to see Alaska. And so we're focusing our attention on the sailings I was talking about before, right? So things that are perhaps a little bit shorter and more port intensive. So like our Mexico cruises or the Hawaii thing, like Hawaii is super popular too. So we understand the ask, but we feel like there's lots of other Alaska options. So we wanted to bring something new to the table for summer in LA.
Great. And I will say thank you guys for sticking with us. We've run just a tad bit long, but we do want to answer these questions and then announce our prize winner. So do you have special rates for solo cruisers?
Yes.
Special rates?
Lots. Lots of our itineraries have solo rates. And so the best place to go to figure out which ones is OneSource, right? So it's posted on a PDF, I think, on OneSource. So it changes every now and then. So keep your eyes peeled. But lots of our destinations covered today in particular are covered with solo traveler rates.
Absolutely. Galveston gets a lot of fog, which impedes sailing in and out of the port. What is Princess's plan to handle that fog issue?
Yeah, so when we were last in this region, we had a lot of those issues, actually. We ended up delaying quite a few sailings. But back then, our terminal was in Houston, actually, not at Galveston. And for anyone that knows the geography of that area, Houston's actually up a channel away from the Gulf. And so we don't use that. In fact, I think that terminal is actually closed now. So we're actually going to be sailing from Galveston, which is on the Gulf. So I think this will be less of an issue.
Yeah, so great. So hopefully we just don't even have the issue. That would be amazing.
Right.
How do we go about booking the unvaccinated customers? So I'll handle that one. I did cover it a little bit earlier, but we've made it easier. So in the past, we had to have you transferred to a special team, and sometimes they were quite busy. So we have removed that bottleneck, and actually the person that you talk to in the contact center who can make a booking for you can also notate the booking that it's an unvaccinated customer and give you the green light for that guest to sail. So you can either do it that way, or you can do it even better by making the booking yourself on Polar Online and then using chat to send the booking number and to advise how many people in that cabin are unvaccinated, and they can then give you the green light that way as well. We've tried to make it easier for you, and all guests are welcome.
Yeah, all guests welcome. We just unfortunately still have to track the numbers at this point. Hoping that will change soon, but for now, still have to track the numbers.
Correct. Can clients who are not vaccinated book cruises in 2023 in anticipation for the requirement going away? What happens if the vaccination requirement does not go away? So absolutely, guests can book 2023. You can just use the same exact process that we just shared, right? We hope that we're going to get to a situation where that's not even going to be needed, like where we won't need to know whether someone is vaccinated or not. But as Neil just mentioned, we currently still do have to track. So you can use the same process. Make the booking for 2023, and then either do it with the contact center or do it yourself, and then contact chat to let them know that that person's unvaccinated. When will the details of the new Princess class of ships be revealed, along with itineraries? So somebody's been following closely.
Oh, yeah. So, great question. Well, look, we're super excited about our new ship. I unfortunately don't have details of what those dates will look like. So keep your eyes peeled around September, I would say, but I don't have anything more precise than that to share at this point.
Yeah, we are super excited, and as soon as we have the green light, we will be shouting it from the rooftops, and you all will absolutely be the first to know.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we have next? Oh, prize time. And I just want to make one more reminder that all of the voyages we just talked about, the product release that we talked about today, those voyages go on sale August 10th, right? So make sure that you are opening your groups, that you're booking your clients. And we will give more detail about what's happened with the group pricing, but just know that it's still the best price and you still have amazing flexibility. Yeah. Prize time. Let's see, who's our winner? I'm not good at the drum roll. Claudia Coates from Cruise Brothers from Mesquite, Nevada. Congratulations, Claudia.
Very cool.
Yay! Okay, and I've got one more question I'm going to answer here because someone is asking, Christy is asking, how long does it usually take to get approval for an unvaccinated guest? It's immediate. And I'm actually glad you asked that question because we have a running list, and we know what voyages still have availability, when we're trying to control that 10% margin. We know that it's available or if it isn't available, and so you find out right away. It's immediate. And we also, thanks to my partner, Mike Revness, we've learned that access to that spreadsheet, which shares what voyages still have capacity for unvaccinated, has been kept internal in the past. And we're actually working on giving you all access to that via Princess Answers. So once that's available, we'll absolutely share that with you as well. So you can actually tell before you book your guest if that voyage still has room available. All right. Great information. Thanks for doing this. Thank you for joining us, Sophia. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Molly, for joining us and giving us all those wonderful insights.
Thank you, Marsha. Great job hosting. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And congratulations to Claudia again.
Yes. Oh, and I'm going to mention one more time because someone did ask. The Instagram page is Princess Group Travel. Princess Group Travel. Just search that and you will find me and join me, and we were going to talk all things group. Thanks again for joining. We can't wait to see you guys until next time. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.